Hello, I'm Logan Sharp, the director and creator of Art Class Part 2, which you are listening to a commentary of. Assuming, of course, you watched the short film before listening to this commentary. This short film really had a interesting history leading up to its eventual creation this year. Back when we did Art Class Part 1, I believe in the summer of 2021, with some friends, that they brought up the idea of doing an art class part two, which I originally said no to, because nobody does one sequels to short films, and it just seemed like a silly idea. Why would we do that? But I guess 3 years later, I eventually caved in. That, and I didn't really have any new ideas for short films going on, so I pretty much figured, A, why not? What have I got to lose? And then that turned into a whole other monster of a project. Just putting this thing together. As some of you might have seen, this turned into more of a Frankenstein put together kind of project that I really, unfortunately, didn't intend on. Although maybe not to sound negative, I'll always look back on this project maybe for its shortcomings than its positives. And as you can see here in the little flashback footage, we get to see clips from the asset. We see Hunter Corman there, myself, of course Riley from Dandelions. Basically, to establish early on all the little cameos and tie-ins we'll get from other characters from the Analog Pictures universe, which this short film interestingly now confirms. We have a little shared universe. Everything is connected to something. This is connected to the Kleptomaniac. It's connected to Devil Drinks Decaf and Dandelions and Asset and Interrogation. All those little short films now have a place in this universe, uh, which is kind of funny, but also maybe a little too gimmicky for some because now that requires them to do a little bit of homework. Not to say that you couldn't watch Art Class Part 2 and not watch all the other non Art Class short films, which you probably could do. But at least watching something like Dandelions brings you maybe a little more of an understanding as to what's going on. Although I do admit, if I did do an art class 3, that it might be a good idea maybe to, I don't know, kind of keep it a little more constrained. Maybe it's not the right word, but maybe to keep it a little contained. I think to make it easier on uh, me editing the project and everyone else, because I know sometimes schedules were a bit of a hassle as far as even special effects were concerned. I had an idea for what I wanted to do, but maybe it didn't turn out the way I exactly wanted it, unfortunately. And we even see with this scene here with the two shoeies. That was actually supposed to be Charles and some other actor, and we had to change the other actor like 3 times, and that scene didn't end up happening because Charles sort of dropped out after a while. So we kind of just went with this at the last minute. Unfortunately, I'm so glad we got this scene filmed. Otherwise, there would have been I guess a missing portion of the entire film because this scene really explains Agent Owen's sort of trouble that he's experiencing right now with the reveal of the loss of his girlfriend, of course, from another short film. And there's my cat. She sort of forced her way into the film. She kind of hopped up on that chair twice, and then at that point, it was like, all right, she gets a cameo. Uh, but back to Agent Owen. You can see here the color grading is even a little different between the two characters Shuey is playing. Of course, he plays Agent Owen over there, and then plays his brother, the lazy dude, sitting on the recliner. And it's not too noticeable, but it's a little undersaturated for Agent Owen to illustrate that he's not in a good place right now. He's feeling a little bleak. Uh, Whereas Lazy Dude is a little more vibrant and colorful, and without any care in the world. But of course, he's Lazy Dude, so he's going to be pretty chill anyway, and not really do much of anything. And I guess to explain continuity errors, yes, technically, that scene with the two shoeies is supposed to take place hours after Agent Owen quits. But yeah, somehow it was like 3 months in between shooting both those scenes, and yeah, there's nothing I can do about the mustache. I had to leave that in there, so maybe in this universe they just sort of grow their mustaches that frequently, I guess. Another problem was the Christmas tree, because everything looked like fall, as you could probably see outside. But it was early December when we got that scene filmed with the two shoeies, and obviously the Christmas tree wasn't going to cut it, so we sort of had to explain away in a brief line of dialogue why all of a sudden there was a Christmas tree. Now, I probably could have moved the tree, but there were already presents surrounding it, and it would have been a hassle. In that shot where the cartoon character throws Charles, obviously Charles wasn't actually thrown. That was a little special effect we did. That took 6.5 hours just for that one shot. I had to go into Adobe Photoshop, and this is the shot where he picks him up, and this is where he begins to throw him. That took 6.5 hours to do. So I had to literally paint him over frame by frame. I had Owen Shuey, who played Agent Owen, basically act as the double, so I have something to sort of paint on, and then go off that for the cartoon character. So there's maybe a little bit of an inconsistency as far as how the cartoon character is animated, but again, unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do about that. Uh, and here in the cartoon world, back when I said when I'm gonna be looking back on this film maybe for its shortcomings than its positives. I really would have preferred to have perfected this the best I can, but if it weren't for maybe some poor green screen on my part, filming Charles, maybe everything would look at least slightly better. And it's not like I'm a professional animator or CG artist, so I'm really just going off of what I got. I even wanted to have the cartoon character maybe a little more updated as far as graphics are concerned, but I still use Flipnote Studios for my Nintendo DS because it's not like I have a Wacom tablet or anything like that or anything professionals use. I don't have that kind of resource, and I did spend about $10,000 within the past 2 months between getting a new car and getting a new computer, which I wanted to wait till after the project and after the holidays to do, but circumstances with my laptop and a certain hard drive failure prompted me to unfortunately have to get it much sooner, which again I didn't really want to do. I wanted to save a little more money and wait till after Christmas, but that just didn't happen. So I had to unfortunately take more easy ways out. So for any of you that might complain that it looks like crap, trust me, I understand. I wanted it to look a little bit better, but again, there's really nothing I can do about that. But at least here we have in this montage scene. It's going to be funny for a lot of people, probably, especially with the bear or the dead squirrel. Now, the squirrel bit might throw a bit of people off, and it comes off as maybe unintentionally violent. But I mean, on the other hand, it is mostly off screen. But it was just to be kind of funny. Although maybe that's my bit of dark humor coming out into this project. Some people kind of think I'm a little reserved, but trust me, I always have the little bit of dark, maybe a bit of inappropriate humor, just waiting to come out at the right moment. And we see here we're now beginning to wrap things up. We have here a cartoon woman. And while I don't really want to use AI for anything, because it takes away sort of the ingenuity, I did use an AI voice for the one line of dialogue the cartoon woman had, because I wasn't gonna bother tracking anybody down really to do one line of dialogue. It just seemed silly. That I had to use a AI voice for an internship I did over the summer when making promos. Um, One PSU student used an AI voice for one of the promos, and the internship director was actually pretty impressed with this, so he said everybody just use that voice, which I didn't want to do, but of course it was what he said, so we just sort of used it. And then I just went back and used one for this one line of dialogue. So, in all reality, my friend Garrett was actually talking to a bot. And the narrator voice, I forgot to point out, is actually my grandpa doing the narration, which I'm pretty sure I have him credited in the credits, but if not, then that's a little movie mistake on my part. But I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I knew it was in there. Originally, I was going to get Hunter Corbin in there. He did the voice for the Star Pilot, and I did feature him for about 2 seconds in the flashback footage you saw in the beginning. So it was still my way of giving him a little cameo. Originally, I wanted him to do the voice, but he wasn't available because he was. It was December, and he was finishing up with all his school stuff, and couldn't even give me like a 5-minute narration clip or anything. So I just sort of went with Grandpa. He was the next best choice, but I think it actually sort of works equally as well. Probably both have a, I guess, sort of storybook voice. So, I mean, either was plausible, either works. And as you can tell here in the credits, why we're doing Amazing Grace. Owen and Charles did, if you watched one of the versions of Art Class and the outtakes, they did Amazing Grace. They just wanted to goof off a little, and then I allowed them the chance to do it again. We have the whole song recorded, but I only include the second and third verse in the credits because, I mean, we didn't want it to drag on for too long, and we already did the first verse. So when Art Class 3 comes around anytime soon, and honestly, who knows when, at least we have the footage for the fourth verse, and we'll just save the fourth verse, the last verse, for the last entry. And as you can tell by with the little post-credit stinger, this is setting up our Class 3. And this is actually picking up where the interrogation short film left off. Again, reiterating the fact that this takes place in a little shared universe, and I do admit the Photoshop job on the phone was maybe not my best effort, but considering that Owen never met the actress who played Avery in Dandelions, and I basically had to use inserts from two different video clips to make that work. Again, that was the best I could do. I'm not an expert at this. I'm doing my best, so I do apologize. But I guess now we've reached the end of the commentary, it looks like. A little joke there. I like it. No, that's not improv. That is, I did write that in. Somebody asked if it was improv, and it wasn't. But yeah, to be continued, and I have no idea when that will be. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this commentary. Have a great rest of the day, and see you.